Good evening, blessed people. How are you today? Believe it or not, I've been struggling with this word that I'm about to share. Not too lengthy at all. I've been struggling for the past maybe 20, 30 minutes, actually longer than that in my mind. Like, Lord, how do I deliver this? Like, excuse me, I want to sneeze. Excuse me. This is actually the word that I thought that I wanted to bring forth Friday night. God showed me a thing. And we hear things throughout our lives because I've heard of this before. I know what it is, but I knew of it. I'm not going to say I put a whole lot of interest in it, but I've heard of it. There's a show on about it. And but what God brought this to me Friday night as I was driving home from my daughter's house, I was like, I looked it up, Googled it while I was at a stoplight, and it just, and I mean, exemplified some things that I already knew. But I got home and I did a little bit more research, and I was like, wow, this is serious, Lord. And in my mind, this would be something that I would bring forth. And then he gave me that impromptu message, hard conversation message that I had to deliver Friday night. So this one was put on the shelf until now. And it has to be shared simply because it is really important. It's affecting many lives, and in light of the things that God has shown me recently, particularly involving children and things here right in my own community where I live. There's so many young people, and there's so much being targeted. Well, the young people are being targeted with invites to activities and behaviors that are aimed right at them that are it's out of order. It's out of order. And then I saw another video recently, just a little while ago, regarding this shooting and involving a father. He was making a heartfelt plea, prayer plea, for the adults to come together and to let's do something to save our youth. And so this is a message that is geared towards saving our youth. However, it is aimed at the parent, because it's the parent that has to take action through awareness. Otherwise, it will directly affect our youth. And it's the topic of love. Specifically, blind love is what God showed me. And he's been teaching me about unconditional love. If you follow me and you've been paying attention, I've been doing a series on unconditional love and the need for it, particularly in the life of a believer, but especially in the nation right now. The need is real. And what he showed me Friday night was this is a practice that many are engaging in, and under the impression of it's not love in the eyes of those who are engaging in it. It's coming across as strong, like very strong, like that involves feelings on another level. Like it's like in the candy store kind of feelings where you get that level of excitement that happens. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times it happens in most relationships. It's the initial sensation. I've experienced it. I've experienced it. But blind love is a dangerous, quote unquote, love, and the involvement of it, or the there's a plethora of it happening. And what happens is a lot of times these relationships are pursued, and it starts out with high emotions, and what results is toxic behavior. Um, Babies are born, babies are conceived and not born. There's a lot that's involved in it, and God is bringing light to this thing concerning blind love. And I'm just going to read a couple of things just to give some info on it. It's an idiom actually that is used to say that people don't see the faults of people that they love. Blind love is described as an idiom that prevents people from seeing the faults of people that they quote unquote love. And I say quote unquote love because it's really not love. It's a feeling of love. Love is not a feeling. Love is an action, and it's very intentional. And so the blindness of it is the fact that flaws and red flags and things of that nature are not seen, which means there's some blindness involved, which means there's some danger in the movement, forward movement in that type of relationship. Because what happens in blind love, you are not seeing the things that you need to see because you're caught up on emotions, an emotional high, feelings of excitement and giddiness, and all of those. Like they are feel good emotions. Let me tell you, they are no lie. But you can't get stuck there. You feel the emotions. Feel them. Don't move upon them, though. Don't go all in based on an emotion, especially if you have lived on this earth over 3 decades. Let me just say that. You have to be more careful because especially if you have children, not only male boys, but especially girls, because your girls are watching you. And before I go any further, I'm just going to read some other things. What is an example of, nope, I don't want to read that. How to tell if you're blinded by love. You're ignoring red flags. You're putting your partner on a pedestal. You're justifying bad behavior, losing your sense of self, ignoring advice from friends and family, constantly defending your partner, obsessing over your partner, ignoring your intuition, and your intuition is there for a reason. Those are some of the things that occur in blind love. And the part of the brain that is affected in the phenomenon of blind love is the frontal cortex. And that's the place where emotional regulation should occur. Okay? It helps with, it plays a role in interpreting, expressing, and regulating emotions. The problem is with blind love, you ignore the regulation and you get caught up in the dysregulation, or you get caught up in the feelings, high emotions. It's a part of your memory. It's where the memory is affected, and memory, especially if this is repeated behavior. If this is something that you have been accustomed to doing or responding to, then there is a part of that memory that should trigger and allow you to know, hey, you've been on this road before. Pause, ponder, and turn around. Nothing is going to turn out differently. Listen, insanity is doing the same thing every day, but expecting a change. What's going to change? That's called insanity. Also, in that part of the brain, it is involving the planning and decision making. Okay? Damage to the frontal cortex can lead to a variety of symptoms. That's a whole nother situation. But I don't want to get into that. Why do people become blind in love? Well, it's because of reduced activity in the frontal cortex that reduces negative emotions and judgments. Why is that? Well, because you are working on high emotions. Intense emotions are real. And when your emotions are really intense and you have developed, like there's such an influx, of hormones that are occurring in that moment. And it's a very initial moment. Like it is the first phase of quote unquote love. But it doesn't stop there. It's not supposed to stop there. And what I mean by that, you should not take action. Action should not the type of action that's going to lead you into a situation that you're not ready for. Your feelings are not ready for. You're not thinking with clarity. You're not actually thinking clearly. Or you're not thinking on a level that's safe. And what God has shown me is that there is an internal, there's something internal that needs the attention. If you are repeatedly engaging in that type of behavior, there is an internal need that requires you addressing. You have to stop and ask the question, why do I keep going down this road? What am I trying to accomplish? Why is it that I'm trying to fulfill this need that you may not even know is the particular need? What is it? Women are built with an innate need to nurture, a desire to nurture. That's how we are designed. It's an intrinsic trait within us. We are built to nurture. But you nurture your children. You support your mate. That's not the same. Now, love is a characteristic of nurture, but the nurture that is coming forth in that type of relationship is more on the parental side of nurturing, the mothering side of nurturing. So you have to ask yourself, what is it? Why are you not able to delineate if this is you, if you see yourself in this message? Why am I not able to delineate or identify when I'm acting on that impulse to nurture someone who's not my child, someone who's not a child? What is the need that is within me? It could be a basic need that has gone unmet. What is it that has me behaving in this way repeatedly? Because it's blind love, and this is what the Lord showed me Friday night, is a conditional love. It comes with conditions. Because when you're operating in blind love and you're not paying attention to red flags, you are not listening, paying attention to your intuition, you don't see any flaws. When those things show up, and they will show up, that love changes. You see, your love was based on the conditions that you set forth. Now when the reality of what or who that person is begins to appear, something changes. Your feelings start to get real. Now, that frontal cortex is kicking back into play. But you've got to recognize that. Listen, we are the example before our children, whether we are speaking directly to them or not. Action speaks louder than words. It's not a do as I say and not as I do type of situation. Oh, no. Our behavior and actions are the one. That's what children are very smart. Our actions and behavior are teaching them far more than what our words will ever teach them, because children have a knack for tuning out words. You could talk to you blue in the face, but it's your actions that they will learn the most lessons from. And so it is very important that you be intentional, be careful about the types of relationships that you are allowing yourself to be engaged in. Look, take a moment, ask yourself, and this message is because this is a prevalence in the earth. I'm telling you, it was a very difficult for me to bring this forward, but God has impressed it upon me. There is a need, and based on what He has shown me in a dream, it was I think I said it was yesterday, 2 dreams back to back. Woke up and went right back to the same dream, and the state that I saw the children in, it was heartbreaking. I was weeping in this dream. That's the second time this week that I have been asleep and have been weeping in the dream and woke up weeping. So we are in a critical time that we have to be accountable for our actions. And so God is calling attention to the behaviors that need the attention, a need to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. There is an innate need within you, young lady, or older lady, or whoever you are, young man or old man. There's a need in you that has not been met that keeps you in and out of relationships that you thought was love. Perhaps it's a lack of love that you're trying to fulfill by giving love to someone else. Well, you can't give something you don't fully know and understand. At best, you're seeking out that thing and you're giving what you know, and what you know is not in its fullness, and therefore it is not a lasting situation. And you bypass the red flags, you bypass the toxic behavior, you bypass the intuition that tells you, hey, slow down and come out. I would really, really like to do a workshop. I would really, really like to do a workshop where there are practical, hands-on lessons, not just talking, actual engagement with the self. God has given me this method this year. Actually, it's something that I had learned years ago, and He's allowed me to put it into practice in a modified way, very modified, but very effective way in confronting self, confronting one's emotions. And it has been, I utilized it with some young people in the last few months. It was so successful, so successful. I really would like to do a workshop with young women. To do with young men, I would need a male's interaction and assistance. We need help. We've got to help our generation, and we've got to help because the future of our children is at stake. And we cannot sit by and watch these things go on day after day, time after time, and think that they're not being affected. Our children are being affected. We've got to do something. It's not just the hands-on violence and the guns and the shooting. It's the soul stuff it's a problem too. It's that internal stuff. The outcome of the shooting and all the violence is a result of soul unaddressed internal issues as well. Gone wild. We got to do something. We really have to do something. This is a call to attention. I'm going to see how the Lord leads me in establishing something here in North Carolina before I leave. I don't know when that will be, when the leaving will be, but God knows something has to be done. And I'm willing to engage. If you need help in trying to learn how different behaviors and how to come out of repeated behaviors, negative pattern behaviors that have you repeating toxic cyclical behaviors, reach out. We have a session called A Seat at the Table, Reclaiming Territory on Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 7:30. Okay? It's for adults. We're getting ready to start something for the youth in December. Okay? I'm going to see if there's even, we'll see what the Lord has to do. But I would really like to do a workshop for young adults to begin to start addressing, confronting these things within that has the cyclical behavior occurring time after time, day after day. Nothing's changing because nothing's changing. And I mean, nothing externally is changing because nothing internally is changing. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You guys have a good evening. Again, reach out. I don't just do this for my health. I'm very serious, and God has called me to do this. And so I'm here. I'm here. And let me tell you something. God opens a window for us to address things and makes things available to us. But that that door doesn't stay open forever. We've got to come out of this laissez-faire mindset or this lackadaisical mindset and get busy. Come out of this spectator social behavior that we have, and let's get busy. And so let's stop waiting for someone to come and seek you and waiting for a magic occurrence to happen. No, it takes work, effort, time, intent. Yours, ours. You all take care. I'm here. Reach out. There are various ways to reach me. You can reach me directly on Facebook. Have a new page up, Reclaiming Territory, the journey to reclaiming territory. Reach out. Inbox through Messenger. Reach out. Reach out. Okay? What's here today could be gone tomorrow. Opportunities. And I'm not the only one that you can reach out to. But you got to make a move to get the journey going. You got to make a move towards change. Remember, this life, if you're a parent, is not all about you. It's about your children too. And they are the future that matters. You matter right now, but they are the future that matters. Okay? God bless you all. Have a good evening.